American Fight League is presenting Southwest Brawl 8, June 30th. Joining me right now to talk about his upcoming amateur featherweight title fight, Richard Jennings. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir. And you?
Doing all right. So first off, take us back, Southwest Brawl 7. We talked about your striking credentials leading into the fight. You showed a lot of grappling. Tell us about how the fight went.
Yeah, I was really happy with how that fight went. I really wanted to go in there and showcase more wrestling and showcase that I'm more of an all-around fighter, not just a striker. That way, kind of, hopefully, just show better movement all around and gain a little bit of respect for my grappling and everything like that. Because I don't like being a one-dimensional fighter.
Did you surprise yourself with how well you implemented the grappling in live action?
Not really. It all felt really strong in training. My game plan was kind of to just go in there and try and out wrestle in the first round and see how that went, and then take it from there. After the first round, I felt like it went really well, so I just continued with the same game plan.
So what was your feeling walking out of the cage?
I was happy. It was a great feeling knowing that my wrestling was on point and like I thought it was, and I have to thank my entire team for that. They really helped me out with getting my ground game up, and I feel like I'm a much better all-around fighter than I was before.
Do you feel like you'll look back in your career at this fight as a pivotal moment, the first time you really went out there and try to showcase those ground skills?
I think all of my fights so far have been pretty pivotal. My first fight was obviously a big deal, winning by submission in the first round. Second fight was the first time I went the distance, and that was a striking war. Third fight was my first loss, and that one taught me a lot of lessons. And then this last one, it went the distance again, but rather than striking the entire time, I grappled the entire time. So all four of my fights have been really different, so I think all of them have been kind of pivotal for my career.
Now, coming off of that win, were you expecting a title fight for the next fight?
I was kind of hoping. I try not to expect anything when it comes to MMA, because when you start to expect things, you end up really just getting disappointed. So I was kind of hoping it would happen, but I was just kind of having a wait-and-see attitude. I was just happy to fight again.
You've gotten the fight now. What was the reaction after getting it? After getting offered this by the American Fight League?
Oh, I was ecstatic when my coach told me. I didn't even have words to express how fucking excited I was, because it blew me away. I wasn't expecting it.
So you were hopeful for it, but it kind of came out of left field. Was it a phone call or was it a contract that first alerted you to it was a title fight?
My coach actually sent a group message to myself and all of my teammates that are fighting on the card, and kind of surprised all of us. It was kind of cool seeing all of my teammates' reactions in one place at the same time.
So where were you when you got that message?
I was actually at home. I just got done with my run, and I had opened my message, and all of my teammates had already responded to it. So I got there a little late, but I was super excited.
So you're seeing all these messages. What was your first reaction?
I couldn't help but just smile. My heart started racing. I was ecstatic, and no one else was home at the time, so I couldn't even run around and tell everybody, because I was the only one home. It was just it was a strange feeling. It was fun.
No yelling at the moment and waking people up. None of that sort of thing.
No. Everybody was out of the house and didn't have to worry about that.
Now, what did you think? What was your first thoughts when it settled in? 2 extra rounds now. Now you're going to go 5 rounds.
I'm not too concerned about it. When when we're in training, we always do extra rounds just to make sure the cardio's on point. So I feel like my cardio will be fine. I'm not too worried about it. It's just extra rounds to put in work and try and get a finish.
James Pleasant, I don't know if you guys were in the same locker room, but you were both on the card at Southwest Brawl 7. Did you get to see James's fight?
I did not get a chance to see his fight. I believe he fought before me on the card. But we've been looking at his record and looking at his history and everything like that. So we're pretty confident going in.
Pretty confident. Where do you think you're going to have the advantages?
I feel like my striking is probably going to outlast him into the second, third round. I'm not sure if he's been working on his cardio at all or anything like that. He's been jumping around in a lot of weight classes, so it's going to be kind of hard to tell what weight his cardio is best at. But we'll go in there, feel it out, and do what we need to do.
You two are both huge for this weight class. Does that play into this fight at all? He's 6'3", you're 6'2". Featherweights are not supposed to be this big.
Yeah, that's just how I've always been. I've been a really light, tall guy for some reason my entire life. I'm not sure why. It's kind of nice having the height advantage, but going into every fight, I kind of just expect to be taken to the ground. That's why we work on my ground game so much. With him being taller, if I remember correctly, all of his wins on his record are by submission, so I'm not sure if it'll change that at all, if he'll try to take me down, but, we're just going to go in there expecting anything.
A guy that has all of his wins by submission, does that make you think, I should keep this one standing?
Honestly, I think it's a lot more fun to keep it standing. It's a lot more entertaining for the crowd. I definitely like to stand and strike, but I just gotta take whatever opportunities are given to me. If I feel like I have the advantage on the ground, I just gotta go for it.
Now, walking away from that last win, all this momentum, what did you want to work on though from that victory? What did you feel needed improvement?
I felt like my timing was a little bit off in that last fight, so I've been working on that a little bit. Just little things here and there that my coach saw that we've been working on over the last couple of months to make sure it's on point for this next one.
How would you rate the victory at Southwest Brawl 7? How would you score it? What grade would you give yourself?
I'd say probably 7 out of 10. I was dominant, but there's definitely a lot I still have to work on and a lot I have to learn. So, gonna always keep learning, keep working on new stuff in the gym, and get better every day.
Do you have any specific goals for Southwest Brawl 8 for this title fight for facing James Pleasant?
Going in, I'm not gonna try and go for anything specific. I'm just gonna. I need to feel this. I need to feel this one out, because I feel like if I go in there saying I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, then as soon as that doesn't work, I'm going to get flustered and not know what to do after that. So I'm just going in there to do my job and make sure that I'm flexible everywhere in the cage.
How does it feel to have been now in this position, getting your first amateur title fight?
I'm ecstatic. This is exactly what I wanted. I have been telling my coach for months that I want to eventually get an amateur title fight. I want a belt. I've been telling him that for months now, and it's finally happening. So I'm excited.
Did you feel if you kept speaking it out there into the universe, it would push it forward into making it reality?
I kind of hoped. I was just kind of hoping, if I kept putting on shows, kept doing exciting fights, then eventually it would come to fruition. But it has now, and I couldn't be more happy.
What has this camp been like? We still got a little bit of time left, but what has it been like so far?
a lot more bodies than we normally do towards the beginning of camp. It's thinned out a little bit, but we've got a lot of really good guys for me to work with, and it's been a great camp. I'm happy with it.
Where do you feel that you're maturing the most in this?
Definitely my ground game. Since I had a striking background, a lot of my striking was there, and it was just a matter of my coach tweaking it and adjusting things to make them better. But when I started, I had no ground game at all, and I feel like that's really grown a lot in my career.
Is there an extra emotional aspect to this camp, to this fight, with having it be the title fight that you've obviously so coveted?
At times, yeah. There's mostly when I'm at home relaxing and not thinking about anything else. It always pops into my head. Holy crap! This is a title fight. But in training, in fight prep and everything, it never really crosses my mind. It's just preparing for another fight and preparing for harder fights every time.
So it hasn't crossed your mind at camp. Has it been a motivational factor?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's whenever I am sitting at home and I'm thinking, man, I really do not feel like going to the gym today. I just got to think about the fact that it is for a title, and I need to put in as much work as I possibly can. So I've been going in as much as I possibly can. Every time my coach says he's there, I'm trying to get down there, and I'm trying to really do as much as I possibly can for this one.
What would it mean to you, hand raised, belt wrapped around the waist?
Oh, that would mean the world. It would be an incredible experience. I've dreamed of that belt for so long. I can't even imagine. I don't even know. I don't think I would know what to do with myself.
Do you have yet thoughts in your head? I know we still got almost 3 weeks to go, but do you have thoughts yet in your head how camp's playing out of how you expect this fight to play out?
I expect him to pressure forward, especially in the first round, and I do expect him to try and take me to the ground due to those submission wins. His 3 losses were all by decision, so I feel like he probably isn't going to want to go into the later rounds. So I feel like especially early on he's going to pressure forward and really try to grind me out and get that finish. But just got to do my thing, weather the storm, and throw right back at him.
All this pressure, all this thoughts of title fights, are you, with it being the moment so big, have you still been able to find time to be Richard and not consume yourself with just MMA right now?
That's a hard thing to do. It's definitely been difficult, but my friends help with that. It's easy when you surround yourself with friends and family to just be yourself. I'm lucky to have a lot of people around me that I feel comfortable with, that I feel like I can just be myself around and not have to worry about anything. So they've definitely helped. When I'm just by myself, it's about finding distractions, really, because if I'm just sitting at home not doing anything, my mind's just constant MMA.
So you've needed the distractions.
Yeah, the distractions definitely help. I feel like I'd drive myself insane if I didn't have the great people around me.
So is there another hobby that we have for Richard besides martial arts?
I used to play a ton of video games, honestly, before I started MMA, but ever since probably my first fight, I have barely touched my Xbox. It's few and far between when I do, and when I need to remind myself sometimes that, hey, your Xbox friends are probably missing you. You should probably go talk to them.
Is it just not enough real live action, or just too busy?
A lot of it's too busy, and whenever I do have downtime, I like to just relax, let my mind go on autopilot and watch videos or Netflix, Hulu, something like that.
So do you have a favorite series, a favorite movie?
Favorite movie would definitely be Pulp Fiction. I've watched that movie more times than I can count, and it's a classic. But favorite series, I jump around. I always seem to go back to Family Guy whenever I just want to autopilot and not pay attention to anything.
Okay, so Pulp Fiction, do you have a favorite quote?
That one iconic scene, does he look like a bitch?
Richard Jennings, great getting to talk with you, sir. Who did you need to shout out to? Who did you need to thank as you're here in preparation for Southwest Brawl 8?
Again, my mom, my grandma, they really put me in a position to follow my dream and do what I love. They're really supporting me a lot on this. My entire family, obviously, my entire team, especially my coach, Anthony, teammates, DJ, Ty, Ray, just everybody that's been helping me out so far. I can't thank you guys enough.
June 30th, we'll see you guys in Las Cruces, New Mexico for American Fight League presents Southwest Brawl 8.